How's it going, John?
Oh, it is going well tonight, Eric. How does it feel to be back in quarantine land?
Yes, I have another 1,500 miles under my belt. We went a surprise. How do I even start? So I think last week about Thursday. No, it must have been Wednesday. Wednesday night after we recorded the podcast, my wife turns and says, "Hey, what do you think about going out to visit my dad for his birthday?" I guess backtrack a little bit. This was Grandpa's 80th birthday. There was going to be a big whoop-de-doo celebration, and all the family was going to go to Disneyland together, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Wednesday night after the podcast, after we recorded, my wife said, "Hey, what do you think about just surprising my parents and going out and seeing them?" And I was like, okay. I got nothing else to do. I think the change of scenery might be nice. So we did. We just packed up the car, left the kids at home.
Nice that they're old enough.
Took off for, we left Thursday morning around 10 a.m. and got home Monday around 5 p.m.
That is a lot of time in the car. That is a lot of time in the car.
Yeah, it's 12 hours each way. So it's basically a day each way. But it was nice. We got to see maybe a little bit of what our near future is going to look like. I saw that our county, Washington County, filed and will probably be approved for phase 1 reopening this week or early next week. So anyways, I was very excited. I got my hair cut. It was...
Oh, I'm jealous.
It was glorious. And you kind of got a perspective. You had to wear a mask. You know, that rules out. You had to wear a mask. The seating area, you could only have 6 people in the store or in their little place at any one point in time. They had the chairs all separated out 6 feet apart for waiting. And, you know, one guy came in and didn't have a mask, and they asked him to go back out and get one. He went out, came back, still didn't have one. And then they said, "Well, we can give you one." So they gave him a mask. While I'm getting my hair cut, they just kind of cut around the mask and, asked me to hold it out to the side when they were going around my ears. So, I mean, It was great.
I could use a haircut. I'm not sure I would drive 1,500 miles for a haircut.
That was I told my father-in-law, I said, it's great that we're birthday, but I was coming for the haircut. That's, good for you, but no. And then we ate dinner at a local restaurant. So not a chain, but just a local restaurant. And the dining area was all kind of cordoned off. The tables were really spread out. They weren't tables or booths that were screwed in, permanent fixtures. They were tables.
Uh-huh.
So, they were all spread out. They pulled tables together for my wife's family. It's her sister and niece. And
not a party of 2.
No, not a party of 2. I think we had 9, maybe 10 of us. And, we were asking that was their first week open as well. And we're just, how's it going? I said, well, as you can tell, we're all wearing masks, and we are assigned either clean or dirty when we come in. So if you are flagged as clean, you may only take dishes from the kitchen to the tables and set them down. And then if you are assigned dirty, someone else comes and actually picks up your dishes. Anything that touches something that now has been
touched by somebody else.
Touched by someone else. Yeah, they're the dirty. And so they rotate that. We were there pretty late, so she was like, "There's no one after you." So she did both clean and dirty. But yeah, it was interesting how they were explaining it. And, then on the road home, we stopped at Olive Garden on the way home, and which now is what does a chain look like? That was actually in Idaho, and it was 50% capacity. Every other booth had a little sign on it, said, "No, you can't, no sitting here." And I discovered, because the guy who was taking our order was very soft-spoken, I did not realize, and I've noticed this actually a little bit, but it was really obvious at that point in time, that my ability to hear people is also somewhat dependent on my ability to also read their lips. I didn't realize how much I stare at people's lips as they talk. I guess that's just me, a habit that I've done forever, until I couldn't see anybody's lips when they talk. I use my eyes as part of my hearing. I mean, I can hear fine if I focus on it, but apparently I don't focus on it enough that I use my eyes.
You think you can hear fine is what that that means. Let's be clear. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It is hard to hear people in masks, and I can see that other people have a hard time hearing me. And I swear that I'm trying to speak up, but I'm, you know, I clearly mumble a lot.
I don't think I've noticed people struggling to understand me. Like when we go places and I talk through the mask, they seem to hear me fine, but I miss that extra sensory visual reading of the lips, I guess is.
Yeah. Can you talk with a mask on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't had any trouble really at all, but my I've kind of got one of those bubbly things.
Like the N95 carpenter type.
Yeah, exactly.
Mask.
Exactly. That's the main thing I use. And so I mean and I've got a goatee, so it kind of sticks off from my face, but I had somebody else say must be nice to kind of have the mask kind of held away from your lips a little bit. I hadn't really given that any thought before, but
yeah.
Oh, the excitement of the masked life.
Yeah, I went to the eye doctor today, looking at getting. I haven't been in. I noticed 3 years getting some new glasses, and I was doing it all with the mask on, and I kept fogging up the lenses as she's. The doctor's moving the A, B. So I finally she said, you could just pull it down. We'll clean. So I had to pull the mask down under my nose so I could stop fogging up the glass. So
that's pretty funny.
We'll see what.
I don't even remember the last time I was at an eye doctor. But I am thinking that I don't think I would go right now just because of all the other stuff that's going on, but it's not that desperate. But my eyes are getting worse, and I'm sure it's age related thing. Transition to my I got a little bit of B stuff to mention here, but one of the tricks that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks that a friend of mine mentioned was you can buy you can buy reading glasses, right? Everybody has reading glasses. Or knows about reading glasses, maybe. But there are DeWalt sells a safety glasses that have not bifocals, but like reading.
Yes.
I guess they're called bifocals. Call them what they are. Bifocals. I don't know. But so a friend of mine mentioned, hey, you can get those, and. But I have like the bee eggs at the bottom of the cells when you're looking at a frame of bees or of eggs and larvae are minuscule, right? I mean, you're looking and there may be like maybe a millimeter, probably more like half a millimeter long. I don't know. They're tiny. And I mean, you have to hold the frame right up at the exact right light so that the light from, hold it up so the sun's shining over your shoulder and shining down into the bottom so you can maybe see this little, way smaller than a grain of rice at the bottom of the cell. But with the magnifying glasses, which can go on, they're underneath my veil and everything else, I've been like, okay. And now I'm feeling old. Is what I'm feeling, but it's okay because I don't think I don't know that I've ever mentioned it on here, but I did LASIK. 15 years ago, a long time ago. I had terrible eyes,
right.
And I have very much enjoyed the fact that I haven't had to wear glasses for the last decade and a half.
Right.
But I think my time is coming to an end.
Well, more than once, my eye doctor mentioned, "Welcome to over 40." Yeah, I'm like, I'm a ways over 40. So she said, "Yep."
It is the way of the world. So, yeah. We had a 3-day weekend here in the States, which was awesome. And I basically. I kind of forgot about it. I knew about it last week. I was kind of going into the weekend, but then on Sunday, as I was kind of coming back up to the house late Sunday afternoon, thinking, oh, okay, good. What am I gonna do tomorrow? Kind of, have I wrapped everything up for the weekend? I kind of had that moment of, wait a minute, I have another day. Wait a minute. Oh, that's awesome. So anyway, I did a bunch of bee stuff. My main goal though, I think last year we planted a whole bunch of blueberry bushes and got no blueberries, like none at all, because I don't know if it was squirrels or birds, but one of them, it's a varmint of some sort, ate all of our blueberries last year. And so this year, they are covered in blueberries. The blueberry bushes are covered in blueberries, and I am determined that them critters ain't getting my blueberries. So that was one of my projects for this weekend, was preparing to string nets on top of the blueberries. So I have a couple of poles on both sides. So I ran wire. They needed to be weeded. Anyway, I spent hours out there getting those and my grapes all set up for stuff. So anyway, it was outdoor stuff for me, which was great. It was a lovely weekend.
Yeah,
which was cool.
I mean, it was a lot of driving, but it was very pleasant to be just kind of alone.
Yeah,
sharing my love of certain podcasts with my wife, and
she listened to your podcast.
Yeah, we discovered that after 45 minutes of ranting about Spotify, she is not ATP's target audience.
You listened to ATP episode with your wife for 45 minutes?
Oh, we listened to the entire 2-hour episode, the most recent episode.
Oh my gosh. I don't think Shirley would last
24 hours in a car. 24 hours in a car. You'll do. Yeah, she likes shortwave. She likes a lot of, the Indicator. We like some together, but when you got 24 hours in a vehicle, there's only so much 80s music you can listen to before you go, can we listen to something else?
Hello, Audible. Hello, Audible. Yeah.
I should do that. So we could try ATP, and you could see this is one of my tech nerd podcasts. And we get about an hour in, and she's like, I don't know if I can listen to this same topic anymore. It was the Spotify.
I listened. Podcast. I totally listened to those this weekend. Yeah. I did. Which is funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. She less so.
That's funny. Oh, semi-follow-up kind of as we transition out of there. I don't think we have any real follow-up topics, but I tried to print the microscope body from your something fun last week.
I saw your tweets.
Open flexure. Anyway, I don't have it in front of me. Evidently, that is too large for my print volume. So I tweeted some stuff, and I got a couple of responses. One of which was to either split it up, which is I haven't dived.
Doven.
It's late. I'm giddy. So I mean, I don't even know what to do in those. In fact, I had this, you see, if you can see my Twitter, but like I tried to open it up in, one of the guys on Twitter is like, well, how big is it? And so I'm like, I don't know. In the normal slicer software I've been using, there's no like units. So I opened it up in something and it was like 150 centimeters. It said this was Adobe Dimension or something like that. And I'm like, and I literally almost typed and responded with, oh, it's 150 centimeters, until like that last little part of my brain went, wait, 150 centimeters? That's pretty big.
I don't think they have a printer that big either.
I literally did the, hey Dingus, how many inches is 150 centimeters? And it's like, it's like six, however much it was like, 70 inches or 60 inches or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like 5 feet.
That's right.
5 feet long. Okay. That's clearly not wrong, or that's clearly not right. So anyway, that's why on Twitter I was like, I don't know. I tried 3 different programs, because I literally just downloaded a couple things and I'm like, okay, well that didn't work. One of which was Blender. Which, have you done anything with Blender?
Not really. I mean,
not really.
I think it's probably installed on my laptop here, but Fusion 360 is what I use.
I could not figure out how to do anything in Blender. Like, I imported it. Sorry. I imported it. I can like mouse around to make it like, but I even like Googled around a little bit, said, go to the tools. I like, no.
You should,
Fusion 360, huh?
Fusion 360 is free for hobbyists and education. But if you're a professional, then it's quite expensive. You have to actually sign in. You have to create an AutoCAD account, an Autodesk account.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was wondering if I had done that, but no. I did SketchUp.
SketchUp? That's old Google
that was
I think.
Yeah. That was sorry, I didn't try Fusion 360. I did try SketchUp, and SketchUp will not import a STL file in their free version. Okay, I'll have to try Fusion 360. And the other thing that Tomas said, I think, was Mesh Mixer.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one.
To split up the mesh or something, so... Anyway, but I also had another friend volunteer that I could borrow his Prusa. So,
yeah. With my dead printer behind me, I have chopped things up manually and glued them together because it has a very small print volume. It only prints about 3 feet by 3 feet, unlike
3 feet by 3 feet.
It's pretty small.
When's your printer getting here?
So while we were sitting here, I looked up to see if my Prusa has shipped, and it has not yet. So I'm like,
okay,
please ship soon.
I was all excited to get started on that microscope.
Yeah,
but alas. And so I'm sitting here with a failed print off to my right for the other things I tried to do. I need to clean it up and
right.
It is what it is. Okay. How about we get into the security portion of the podcast?
Let's get through that part really quick so we can get to fun. So the article that caught my eye was mostly because it just looked like a lot of fun to write because of the words. And I'll just go through just really quick. This is an overview of the Blue Mockingbird malware gang apparently has written something. But so the article is written, it's discovered earlier. I'm going to skip a bunch of words, but discovered earlier this month by a cloud security firm, Red Canary, the Blue Mockingbird group is believed to have been active since blah, blah, blah. The hackers plant a web shell on the attack server, then use a version of the juicy potato technique to gain admin level access.
You can't make this stuff up.
They download and install a popular cryptocurrency mining app for Monero. And that's what they do. So the first question that is probably on your mind about all of this is, what is the juicy potato technique?
That was, in fact, my number one question.
If you click on the link,
it's a sugared version of Rotten Potato NG.
Exactly.
What?
But it's basically a privilege escalation on Windows service accounts.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so apparently this is a piece of malware that has been going around infecting enterprise Windows NT enterprise servers, Windows servers, and through a specific vulnerability that's been around for a while. The CVE's been around for a while, and it allows them to, basically use a privilege escalation to essentially become root on the box, or whatever root is called in Windows world, and then apparently they're installing Monero miners to mine cryptocurrency. So,
I haven't been hearing much about Monero lately.
Or cryptocurrencies in general, to be honest. I don't know if it's because I stopped paying attention or if it's probably a little bit of both. Stopped paying attention and it's lost the tech/public eye a little bit.
Kind of lost a bit of the gold rush mentality.
Yeah. Anyways, that one I just thought was fun because I like the red canary, blue mockingbird, juicy potato. Just the words.
You know why
were fun.
people look at us strangely, or people look at nerds strangely, and you're just making stuff up. Well, actually, kinda. All right. Let's see. What did I? So I think I brought two things today, but the first one I had kind of been hoping for a little more, but there was a new jailbreak released for iOS this week, which is the first jailbreak in 5 years, hypothetically, since iOS 8 to be valid on the most recent OS. So there have been some releases in the past few years that were valid for older versions, but not for the latest. And this is hypothetically because, and I quote, "This is possible," they said, "because Unc0ver 5.0, that's the name of it, Unc0ver, but with a 0 for the O in Unc0ver, utilizes a 0-day vulnerability in the iOS operating system that Apple is not aware of." So I was hoping that there was a little bit more details, if I could find something on what vulnerability they're actually using or what the technique was. But I don't know if you saw this or if you saw some more details somewhere. I read a couple articles and kind of did a little bit of looking around, not a ton, but I could not find anything that had much in the way of details. And I even went to their site, but it has installation instructions, but didn't seem to go into technical details, which I makes sense. And it's not open source, so at least one of the articles I read made a point of saying that, so that it would be a little bit harder to figure out essentially Apple's got to reverse engineer what they did to do this, which you can expect it to be fixed on a forthcoming iOS release, of course, but it works on iOS 11 through 13.5 other than 12.3, 12.3.2, 12.4.2 to 12.4.5. Everything other than that, though, it works, which, I don't know, that seems like it would also be helpful to know why those didn't work.
Well, yeah. But, what feature did they take away and then put back? Did they take away temporarily from 12.3 to 12.4.5?
Yeah, I don't know of any. But one of the other articles, the ZDNet article didn't say this, but I think in Wired, or one of the other articles I read mentioned that Apple's general user security features weren't bypassed. So sometimes when you jailbreak, some other jailbreaks have made it so that they break the sandbox. So apps running on the jailbroken device can then break out of their sandboxes. But this hypothetically leaves the other user protections in place. Although if you're willing to jailbreak a device, you shouldn't. You're swimming without. You're swimming with the sharks without your underwear on. No swimsuit.
It's late. I need I need that picture not in my head.
Yeah, don't jailbreak your phone. Don't jailbreak your phone. That would be silly. That would be silly. Anyway, so that was the first thing. I wish that I could have found a little bit more info. Maybe there'll be some in the future follow-up. My second thing that I liked was actually a little bit of a Twitter thread by Alex Stamos, who was the guy that used to be Facebook's chief privacy officer, something like that, and basically quit a couple of years ago when he couldn't. There were some disagreements, let's say. And so, and now he's at Stanford. I think he teaches some classes there, and has, he's relatively well known in the privacy space, especially. So, but this is it's a bit of commentary on Zoom's push to improve themselves and their own security with end-to-end encryption. So there's the reason why this is Semi-Followup is because we've talked about Zoom quite a bit in the beginning, especially of quarantines. It was a bunch of errors, and Zoom promised that they were going to do better, and tried to contact a whole bunch of security people, and so they evidently put out a design for an end-to-end design for Zoom, and there's a bunch of stuff about it. But the thing that why I liked this thread was Alex basically walks up at 4 or 5 possible instantiations of end-to-end encryption with more and more privacy guarantees, which is just a nice sort of intro to how to think about this,
right? Which
is kind of cool. So the first is basically unencrypted. So no safety at all. So as he says here, phone calls, most SMTP traffic. So email, SMS. So all your text messages. Communications are. The quote from him are: communications are available to a passive adversary who has massive scaling leverage, as the marginal effort to get more of these comms is minor and a very, very low risk. So basically, if you can sniff it, you can read it. So that's level 0. Level 1, and I'm not sure that he's not saying these are the only things, but the number 1 would be encrypted on the wire. Oh, so unencrypted was 0, by the way. So good job. He start counting at 0. So number 1 is encrypted on the wire. So this would be anything that's using, HTTPS, for example. So Facebook, Gmail, corporate email. If somebody wanted to decrypt that, you'd have to own the server side or the client side,
right?
And or and this is something that they do a lot of. Means that it's available through a legal process, right? So government knocks on your door, says, hey, we have a subpoena, give us the data, give us the logs. So number 2 is end-to-end with server trust. So and the example of this is iMessage. So essentially you can trust the server because the server doesn't have the keys. Right. This would be true. This would be the first real example of end-to-end encryption, I think, in that the encryption doesn't get decrypted in the middle. It goes from one end to the other end. But iMessage is a good example here. The iMessage servers can't decrypt your messages, but if you store your backups in a cloud, well, the backups can be read, for example, because you're backing up what has been decrypted on your device, for example. And, obviously if as he says, an active adversary can pop your endpoint. Okay. So, he says, this is Zoom's phase 1. So that's cool. So this is where they're at, or this is where they want to get, for the first step. So step number 3 is end-to-end with user verification. So the example here is Signal and WhatsApp. And so this is because you can verify from the client side because there's indications that you can spot. So his exact quote is, less likely that the server will lie to you as an alert user can spot that. Key leakage backdoors are possible and may be findable, Endpoints can have bugs, hard to silently surveil. So that's the main thing. Surveillance is particularly difficult. So that's phase 2. Level 4 is end-to-end with automated transparency. So I didn't quite get the notion here, but the quote is same as above, but with automated systems that make a conspiracy between servers and malicious endpoints much less likely. Lots of potential designs here and a strong area for academic work. So I don't quite know what the difference is, user verification versus automated transparency. You'd still have to have the client. You'd have to trust the client, which is kind of his next thing. But right. I'm not sure I've heard the phrase bug doors. Have you heard bug doors? Instead of back doors, bug doors?
I think I've seen that float around.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty obvious what it means, which is the best thing about a euphemism. Bug doors possible. Yes. So every software has bugs. I don't know if you're aware of that, but software has bugs.
Yes. And not everybody codes in a backdoor, but everybody codes in a bug door.
Exactly. So, and then the 5th level was end-to-end with automated transparency and reproducible builds. So all the bells and whistles plus steps that allow users to have more confidence. Backdoors don't exist in their object code. I don't know of any major platform that offers this. Bug door is still possible. I think the issue here your client would have to pretty much be open source. I think. I don't know what you do for reproducible builds without that. Anyway, he says lots of levels in between these, but that's sort of the point. And I love that. So when considering the kind of end-to-end encryption you want to deploy, it's reasonable to consider whether you want a deployment model that's trivially backdoorable. You have to consider the legal, political situation when doing so. All software can have bug doors, but if the goal is to make surveillance of communications higher effort with more risk and to drive lawful surveillance toward highly targeted and costly methods, it is perfectly reasonable to build protections that are imperfect. There's a huge difference between plain text communications that can be pulled from a DB with a request and an end-to-end system that can be compromised by delivering a remote code execution or some leak or via some leak of key material. Anyway, so this is there's a bunch of some other comments and stuff about here, but it's kind of the don't let perfect be the enemy of good situation. So, but I just thought that was a nice little framework of how to think about doing end-to-end encryption in in a messaging app. And there's not many that I know of that do good end-to-end encryption as like Signal or WhatsApp. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That was cool. I mentioned Signal last week about the whole Giphy acquisition. But it's pretty good, pretty cool. Okay, well that was what I brought. How about something fun? Should we do something fun?
So I have two something funs. So my first one is I have been trying to ever since, was it this Catalina where
it was
Apple moved from Bash to ZSH?
It was Catalina.
There are still some things about ZSH that irritate me, which I have not figured out how to solve. But I'm trying. So I found an article that gives you 5 types of ZHS aliases and the things you can do with ZSH, Z-shell. And I'm going to try to learn how to do them. So if you are a Catalina user and have not moved over to ZSH yet and are still on Bash.
I'm still on Bash on one on my home Mac, and I've moved to ZSH, but kind of reluctantly screaming on the work Mac.
Yeah, so I'm slowly trying to pull new things in. So this was a fun article. If you're jumping to Catalina and ZSH, here's some alias tricks. 5 different types of alias tricks. I don't need to go through them.
Huh.
Then my second.
hold on a second.
What? You're still on the ZSH?
I am. What the heck are these suffix aliases? You mean you can make it so if you just type the name of a file,
it'll open the app.
Open the app with that file in it.
Correct.
That's awesome.
So there are some pretty cool. So yeah, there's the just regular aliases, suffix aliases. Then you can make aliases that just appear anywhere in the middle of lines of code, which it boggles my mind a little bit because that seems too much potential for messing things up. Or at least maybe that's just the way I do things. It'll mess things up.
Oh my gosh. Global aliases. No, that's impossible.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, don't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Not here there be dragons. There be dragon-eating dragons.
So, I thought I would throw that one. I looked at that one. I'm like, all right, I should probably spend some time to create myself some aliases because I use a lot of aliases and just to try to take advantage of some of the different ways that Z Shell allows you to do some interesting things, which would be kind of potentially kind of
the function alias in there I could totally use because I have an awk command that I keep in my head, but that would go well in a function alias.
That's my first something fun. My second one is a tweet, which if you haven't seen it, you got to open it.
Not.
You got to open number 1, and he takes all the Marvel movies and puts them in chronological order, not by movie, but by scene of each movie. So he lists through every movie and what the proper chronological order is for every movie. And so the very first thing you have to watch is the prologue to Thor: The Dark World from beginning of the movie to 3:45. And then the second thing you have to watch is a flashback sequence from Thor Ragnarok that's only about 40 seconds long. And then there's some Thor and Black Panther, and then the flashback scenes from Captain America, and 50 seconds. And so what was the first Marvel movie, right? Or the one that you remember probably? Iron Man, right? Iron Man doesn't show up until number 20. I don't know if anybody counts the Hulk, whatever that Hulk movie was.
That's actually what I was going to say.
Yeah. And, so Captain America, where'd it go? Captain America, the First Avenger, is number 6, and you pretty much start for most of the movie. You watch most of the movie. But anyways, you can go through, he's got 4 images where he's listed these out as to what you need to watch and when and at what point you need to watch them, where you need to watch, including post-credit scenes and everything. So I could not do this. I just would not have the patience to jump from time. But if somebody put together a movie marathon that mapped this way, I bet people would.
I would watch
pay
it
for that.
I would watch it.
I would totally watch that.
Totally. But how in the heckfire? Watch start at 35 minutes and 32 seconds, stop at 36 minutes and 14 seconds.
That is someone with, a lot of.
I like his tweet though. Well, nerds, I did it. Took me a global pandemic and a dang quarantine. I'm editing out the swear words for
right,
but I did it. I'm out of my mind. You're welcome. Oh man, that is a winner.
Yeah,
winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, he has a whole tweet storm on it about, it's only the 23 Marvel movies so far. It doesn't include any of the ABC or Netflix shows, none of the shorts, none of the deleted scenes. Anyways, so he talks about how he treated time travel parts, and how did those work. Anyways, so he obviously took a lot of time to kind of go through this. He has anyways. There's my second something fun. You got to give credit where credit is due. Someone spent a lot of time, and that is something I would watch, but I would not. If someone could automate,
not a chance.
That on go to Disney Plus and automate that somehow with all the, because I think Disney Plus has all the movies now. Someone build me a script to automate that. I would watch it.
It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube at some point. Well, because 2 Christmases ago, we watched all 20 Marvel movies over the course of 2 weeks, but however many there were. But yeah, not like that. And I did actually follow a chronological order,
right. By movie,
watch these. But anyway,
right. Okay. Captain America first.
All right. That is awesome. That is awesome.
My wife has rewatched. She just finished Endgame a couple days ago. She is on Disney Plus. She has rewatched all the Marvel movies again in chronological order, either between Disney Plus having it or we have it. So
nice.
I think that's her third time through now. So I don't know why she doesn't like ATP. She loves the Marvel movies.
A nerd of a different stripe. It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will see your 2 something funs, and I will raise you 3. So
I was looking. I see 6 links there, or 5 links.
Well, I wasn't sure what link to put in for this first one. So this first one is like last week. I think last week I did 2 science things, right? So right. I've got a science one this time. So this is cool. So this is the year of the cicada in some parts of the United States. But the cool fact about this, the science fact, is by having a life cycle that is a prime number, as are 13 and 17. So sorry, the periodical cicadas are they only come out and breed periodically, 13 years and 17 years. But by having a life cycle that's a prime number, they can prevent predators from developing a life cycle that is a factor of that number. For example, a 12-year cicada species would be wiped out by any predator species with a 2, 3, 4, or 6-year life cycle. So how is that? The actual tweet I saw, somebody said that my favorite / only cicada fact is they use prime numbers to survive by emerging from the ground after 13 or 17 years. By having a cycle that's a prime number, they can prevent predators, blah, blah, blah. I thought that's cool. That's a cool science fact. That's my something fun science fact. How do you like that?
I'm trying to do the math in my head. What? Well, 13 isn't that many years. Aren't there a lot of things that live more than 13 years?
It's not that they live more than 13 years. So these, they swarm, right? So, anytime you have, it's the whole predator-prey thing. If the prey grows a lot, then the predators will come along as well. So, it makes it hard for a predator species to be abundant enough for them not to be overwhelmed by the number of cicadas, right? Because in year 11, there wouldn't, if this was the main food, there wouldn't be enough prey for, to support that level of predator load.
Oh.
Same for year 12. And then year 13, kaboom, they're all over. The cicadas are all over the place. So this is,
So this is not that every 13 years cicadas show up. It's cicadas are showing up every year, but they lay dormant for 13. I'm still not.
No, they're dormant for 13 or 17 years.
So they just flat out don't exist on planet Earth for 13 or 17 years.
It depends on the brood. So this is brood 9. Roman numeral 9. So let's see. Here, I'll read you another paragraph here. Periodical cicadas, unlike annual cicadas, emerge every 13 or 17 years, depending on the species. Brood 9, as this grouping is dubbed, last emerged in 2003. Parts of the region that's expected to see Brood 9 this year also saw some of Brood 2, which crawled out of the ground back in 2013 across parts of the eastern U.S. But Brood 9 won't likely affect as many states, according to periodical cicada mapping site magicicada.org, which is cool. So, let's see. In parts of southwestern Virginia, North Carolina, and West Virginia, it's nearly time for a brood of the insects to emerge for their once-in-a-17-year mating season. As many as 1.5 million cicadas could emerge per acre. And did we mention the bugs are known for their distinct and overwhelming chirping? It'll be loud.
Oh, sorry. I went to magiccicada.org. And so... Okay, so there are cicadas every year, but they're in different places, and they come out in, it's saying that the Brood 5 and Brood 9 are offset by 4 years. So they may be in the ground for 13 years, but because they didn't all start on the same date. Sorry.
Correct. But
I was confused.
I hadn't actually come to this site before. Magic Cicada. So so the different broods, so general. Anyway, the whole point was just they have a life cycle that is a prime number to help prevent evolution of prey that can anticipate their emergence. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still confused by that, but I'm going to let it go.
Well, you can read more out on Magic Cicada.
I'm going to read more now because.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to give you my second thing because that was my first. Right. My second thing is I'm not even sure that I'm going to wind up using this because I don't use Windows hardly at all these days. But Windows is getting a package manager
like NPM,
or pip or RPM, apt-get, anything. Yes. You brew to this, you would be like, Windows doesn't have a package installer. No, Windows does not actually have a package installer. Windows .NET, there was a package installer built for .NET called NuGet.
I remember seeing that
a long time ago, but not for Windows. And so there is and Microsoft, dang them. They're making it tempting. It's open source. It's pretty cool. So you'll be able to basically WinGet anything you want. So WinGet install VS Code. And they're seemingly, I did at least a little cursory pass, at least through some of the stuff about security that they're doing for verification of hashes and stuff like that. So at least, as far as I know, it's still vulnerable to the whole. Sure, you're verifying that the package hasn't been tampered with, but how do you trust that it's a good package that's been loaded in the first place? But that's a problem for all package managers at the moment. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
yay, people who like Windows.
Well, and for people who don't use Windows that often, having my brew install X or get everything that I want on Windows all in one little command line will be totally handy. So
my number one problem with Windows is just syntax.
WSL2.
Yeah. Mapping.
Well,
mapping C:\/ to /
Again, we'll just say, I bet you can make Z shell your home shell in WSL2.
Yeah, of course you can.
Which has it's got a full kernel now. Yeah, it's the thing. Okay, sorry. My third something fun. My son sent me this, and so it's a little memey. I don't know. It's a YouTube video with the history of the entire world. Actually, the history of the entire galaxy. The entire history of the entire galaxy, kind of, from the perspective of our world.
In 20 minutes.
Like 20 minutes, and it is awesome. So go watch this YouTube video. It starts at the Big Bang and goes all the way to essentially the present day, which is it is fantastic. And it had me both in stitches and then also saying, hey, I want to know more about that. So it was fantastic. So yeah, go watch this video. I don't know what else to say about that one.
Yeah. Well, I saw another one, so I went and watched it, and I want to say I saw something similar or along these same lines several years ago, but he also has a video called Mount St. Helens is About to Blow Up, which is 3 minutes long, which goes to that was my something fun last week, or I talked about it last week, I think, the whole 40th anniversary of Mount St. Helens. So I'll just give a side note to go watch that video too. It's the same style, same humor.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Anyways.
Okay, it's totally awesome. Totally awesome.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Should we call it a show?
Yeah. Somehow we always seem to record about the same amount of time, no matter what type of stuff we skip.
Oh, I don't know, man.
It's
good.
It's uncanny.
It's good. Uncanny.
Alrighty, dude.
That's a good word. Uncanny X-Men. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Have a great week. Be safe. Everybody have a good one.
I will talk to you, I'm sure, soon.
All right. Bye, Eric.
Bye.